Years ago, people whispered about a place far removed from the everyday world, Neverland Ranch. It was Michael Jackson's secluded kingdom, a fantasy land seemingly built on magic with its own theme park and zoo. From the outside, it looked like pure enchantment. But beneath the surface, some claimed there were secrets hidden away, rooms never seen, and stories kept quiet. The world speculated endlessly, guessing what lay within, but those closest to Michael rarely spoke. Until now. Paris Jackson, his daughter, grew up inside Neverland's walls. While she hasn't often shared details of their private life, a recent, rare interview made everyone stop and listen. With tears in her eyes, she finally touched on the enigmatic upstairs of Neverland, a place even she didn't truly know as a child. What made this area forbidden? What could possibly have been happening there, shielded from view? The answers might just change how you see the king of pop. The story really begins long before the mansions and the controversies. Michael Jackson, born in Gary, Indiana, was just one of 10 children in a small, noisy house filled with music and big dreams. His father, Joe, a steel mill worker and musician, pushed his children relentlessly. Rehearsals were tough, sometimes crossing lines into abuse, leaving young Michael feeling lonely and emotionally drained. He'd recall his father watching rehearsals belt in hand, ready to punish mistakes. While some siblings defended Joe's methods, as keeping them in line, Michael carried scars from that difficult start. Yet, his extraordinary talent couldn't be held back. He joined his older brothers in the Jackson 5 at just 6, initially playing instruments, but his incredible energy and voice quickly pulled him into the spotlight. The group honed their skills performing everywhere from small clubs to surprising venues before catching their big break at the Apollo Theater. Motown signed them, launching them into superstardom with hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There. Michael became a global teen idol. Later, with Epic Records and a pivotal meeting with producer Quincy Jones on the set of The Wiz, Michael took creative control. Their first collaboration, the solo album Off the Wall, was a smash, but Michael felt it wasn't recognized enough. He was driven to do even more next time. That burning ambition paved the way for an album that didn't just break records, it shattered them and reshaped music forever. Thriller. But alongside the unparalleled success, a dark cloud began to form. In early 1993, after befriending 13-year-old Jordan Chandler through his stepfather, Jordan and his family visited Neverland. Things seemed friendly until suddenly, Jordan's biological father, Evan Chandler, allegedly demanded millions from Jackson. Reports claimed Evan was recorded saying, "If I go through with this, I win big time. There's no way I'll lose." Jackson hired a private investigator who reportedly questioned Jordan directly, and the boy allegedly denied anything untoward had occurred. A day later, Evan's attorney consulted a psychiatrist, proposed a hypothetical situation, and received a letter suggesting suspicion might be present. Armed with that letter, Evan allegedly claimed Jordan had confessed and demanded $20 million. Jackson refused and reportedly sued for extortion. Over the following weeks, Evan's team allegedly increased their demands before filing a civil lawsuit, seeking $30 million. When Jackson still wouldn't settle, the story exploded in the media. Police reportedly searched Neverland and Jackson's other homes while he was on tour, looking for anything to confirm molestation claims. Reports stated they found nothing. Hundreds of children who had spent time around Jackson were reportedly questioned and all denied inappropriate behavior. Investigators reportedly seized 2 art books with pictures of boys, but Jackson's representatives said he never opened them and didn't know who sent them. In December 1993, prosecutors reportedly demanded a deeply invasive physical examination of Jackson to compare his anatomy to a drawing made by Jordan. Reports claimed the facts didn't match. Despite this, the civil case pressed on. Jackson's request to pause the civil suit until any criminal trial concluded was denied, facing twin legal battles and reportedly struggling with reliance on pain. medication, Jackson reportedly settled the civil lawsuit in January 1994 for around $15 million to Jordan and another $3 million to his parents. It's crucial to note, the settlement itself reportedly did not prevent Jordan from testifying in a criminal trial. Despite the settlement, after months of investigation, 2 grand juries, and interviewing 400 witnesses, prosecutors ultimately closed the criminal case in September 1994. They reportedly declared they simply lacked sufficient evidence to charge Michael Jackson with a crime and dropped the case. Clearing his name in 1994 offered little lasting peace. Years later, in 2003, Jackson faced grave new challenges when fresh claims surfaced. This began after a documentary aired where Jackson discussed having a 12-year-old boy sleep in his bedroom and holding hands with him. Jackson reportedly denied anything improper occurred, stating he simply loved being around children innocently. However, public reaction was intense, with many expressing disturbance. Shortly after the documentary, Jackson was formally charged in Santa Barbara with 7 counts of child immolation and 2 counts of providing alcohol to a minor. These were serious allegations, but Jackson denied them all, saying he was being unfairly targeted and was innocent. The trial, The People vs. Michael Jackson, started in January 2005. It became one of history's most high-profile celebrity trials, drawing massive global media attention. The court proceedings were emotionally charged and incredibly stressful. For Jackson, reports indicated his health declined and he often appeared vulnerable and exhausted. During the trial, Jackson's defense reportedly argued that the accuser had a history of attempting to get money from celebrities and accused the family of staging the case to exploit Jackson's fame. The prosecution argued Jackson had used his fame to exploit and abuse the child. After months of testimony from many witnesses, including some celebrities, the jury delivered their verdict on June 13, 2005. Michael Jackson was acquitted on every single charge. Years later, in 2009, FBI records were reportedly made public confirming they had investigated Jackson extensively in both the 1993 and 2005 cases. Reports stated the FBI did not find any evidence suggesting Jackson had committed any crime. Though legally cleared, the allegations deeply scarred his private life and public image. Even after being declared innocent, the controversy followed him. The legal battles weren't the only fight Jackson was losing. After the 2005 trial, reports indicated his finances were in dire straits. While he was arguably the most successful performer ever, behind the scenes, he was reportedly buried in debt. Immediately post-trial, he relocated, but business deals reportedly fell apart. A company CEO reportedly confirmed Jackson was on the brink of bankruptcy, facing dozens of lawsuits simultaneously. By 2006, to stay afloat, Jackson reportedly used part of his incredibly valuable music catalog, then valued around $1 billion, as collateral for loans. He owed Bank of America millions, and the debt was sold. A new loan of $300 million, reportedly $470 million in today's value, came with strict conditions. His financial advisors reportedly urged him to sell half of his publishing share to avoid losing everything. Consequently, Neverland Ranch was reportedly closed as his main home, and he never lived there full-time again. Things reportedly got worse. He couldn't even pay employees on time, facing back wages and penalties. His extravagant spending and legal woes had allegedly drained his resources. While he attempted a comeback, working on music and planning tours, his financial problems reportedly mounted. In 2008, Neverland reportedly faced foreclosure, but a deal with Colony Capital reportedly saved it, bringing in $35 million, though it didn't clear all his bills. By 2009, he was reportedly $500 million in debt. This desperation reportedly led to staging his massive This Is It comeback tour, hoping to reverse his fortunes. The initial shows sold out instantly, expanding to 50 dates. But even as he rehearsed, reports claimed Jackson was still months behind on mortgage payments. his finances hanging by a thread. His story tragically proves that even legendary fame and a colossal music fortune don't guarantee financial security, especially when battling constant lawsuits, managing vast spending, and allegedly placing trust in the wrong people, resulting in a complex financial legacy. The relentless public and legal pressure from the 1993 scandal had a devastating impact. Reports indicated the stress took a heavy toll on his health and career. Years earlier, in 1984, a severe burn injury while filming a Pepsi commercial had reportedly led to reliance on pain medication. But when the scandal hit, things reportedly worsened. The intense emotional strain allegedly increased his dependency. It wasn't just physical pain he was coping with, it was the betrayal, the headlines, the lawsuits, the reported ruin of his carefully crafted image. He described it as one of the hardest times of his life. The pressure eventually forced him to step away. In November 1993, he reportedly canceled the rest of his Dangerous World Tour and ended his lucrative relationship with Pepsi, a major endorsement deal. Fans were reportedly shocked and worried about his health. Michael later reportedly confessed in interviews that he was broken during those years emotionally and physically. It was clear the scandal didn't just tarnish his image. Reports suggest it profoundly impacted his well-being. Then came the day that shook the world. On June 25, 2009, pop icon Michael Jackson was gone. Just weeks before he was set to begin his enormous sold-out comeback concert series in London, Jackson reportedly suffered a cardiac arrest that took his life. His passing was sudden and left fans globally in disbelief. That morning, in his rented Los Angeles mansion, his personal physician, Conrad Murray, had reportedly administered powerful sleeping medications, including propofol, a potent drug typically used in surgical settings along with other sedatives. Around 12:21 p.m., a 911 call was placed reporting Jackson was unresponsive. Paramedics arrived quickly, starting CPR and rushing him to the hospital. For over an hour, doctors reportedly worked to revive him. Tragically, at 2:26 p.m., Michael Jackson was pronounced dead. The official cause was later ruled a propofol OD, administered by Dr. Murray. Reports indicated the combination of drugs in his system was incredibly risky, potentially deadly. News spread like wildfire, nearly crashing the internet. Google, Twitter, AOL, and Wikipedia reportedly saw unprecedented traffic as everyone desperately searched for confirmation. It was a global online shockwave. Television networks worldwide altered programming to honor him. MTV, which had largely stopped playing music videos by then, reportedly returned to its roots, broadcasting hours of his classic hits. Other channels aired documentaries and tributes. The world reportedly united in mourning. Celebrities and fans shared memories, danced to his music, and grieved the loss of an artist who had touched so many lives. Jackson's death marked the end of an era. Whether you loved his music, his moves, or his message, his passing left a void still felt in popular culture. He was more than the king of pop. He was a global phenomenon. And that June day, the world reportedly lost part of its rhythm. The legal story didn't quite end with his passing. In August 2009, the Los Angeles County coroner reportedly made it official. Jackson's death was ruled a homicide, the fatal result of excessive propofol and other sedatives. Months later, in February 2010, his physician, Conrad Murray, was charged with involuntary manslaughter. His trial in 2011 resulted in a conviction, and he was sentenced to 4 years in prison, ultimately serving less than 2 before being released on parole. While the court cases reached their conclusions, Michael Jackson's music life only grew. At the 2009 American Music Awards, just months after his death, Jackson won 4 posthumous awards, reflecting surging fan support and sales. In the year after his passing, Americans reportedly bought over 16 million of his albums, with global sales exceeding 35 million, making him the top-selling artist of 2009 by a massive margin. He also became the first artist to reportedly sell over 1 million digital downloads in a single week. The momentum continued. In March 2010, Sony Music reportedly signed a staggering $250 million contract with the Jackson estate, then the largest deal ever for a single artist. This agreement reportedly extended Sony's rights to his back catalog and guaranteed 10 new albums created from unreleased recordings and new compilations. Sony reportedly renewed the deal in 2017. That same year, producer Quincy Jones reportedly won a $9.4 million royalty judgment for his work on Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad, another sign of the enduring value of his classic records. The figures kept rising. By the end of 2013, posthumous album sales had reportedly surpassed 50 million worldwide. In 2014, Jackson was reportedly the first artist with top 10 hits in 5 different decades. In 2015, Thriller was reportedly the first album certified for 30 million shipments in the US and later reached an incredible 33x platinum under new rules including streaming. The record-breaking continued. In February 2024, Sony Music reportedly purchased half of Jackson's publishing rights and master recordings for an estimated $600 million. This transaction reportedly included songs he wrote, his solo catalog, and the recordings themselves, though not the Broadway show or upcoming biopic rights. Industry experts described it as potentially the largest single artist catalog sale in music history. So, while courtrooms debated responsibility for his death, fans and the music industry reportedly ensured his music continued to smash records long after the final curtain call. Years after Michael Jackson's death, fresh claims emerged that reopened old wounds and ignited global debate. In 2013, choreographer Wade Robson reportedly sued Jackson, alleging abuse for 7 years, starting when Robson was just 7. A year later, another man, James Safechuck, reportedly made a similar claim, stating the abuse occurred over 4 years beginning when he was 10. What was particularly surprising was that both Safechuck and Robson had reportedly defended Jackson in previous investigations. Robson had even reportedly testified for Jackson at his 2005 trial. Both initial lawsuits were reportedly dismissed. In subsequent years, because they were filed too late under California's legal statutes at the time, judges also reportedly ruled in 2017 and 2020 that Jackson's companies could not be held liable as there was reportedly no concrete evidence the men had a legal or protective relationship with the businesses. Then came the 2019 documentary, Leaving Neverland. In it, Robson and Safechuck shared tearful graphic accounts of the abuse they claimed they endured. The documentary caused an enormous backlash, with some radio stations in countries like New Zealand, Canada, the UK, and the Netherlands temporarily removing Jackson's music from playlists. Jackson's family and estate strongly defended him, reportedly, labeling the documentary a public lynching and tabloid character assassination. In contrast, some of Jackson's peers and former child stars who knew him well, like Macaulay Culkin, Brett Barnes, and Corey Feldman, publicly supported him, reportedly testifying he never acted inappropriately with them. Other films were reportedly screened, countering the allegations in Leaving Neverland. Interestingly, reports claimed Jackson's music sales rose following the documentary, and some radio stations later reinstated his music due to positive listener feedback. The story also turned legal again. Jackson's estate reportedly filed a lawsuit against HBO, alleging a violation of a non-disparagement clause from a 1992 agreement and seeking $100 million in damages. A judge reportedly allowed that case to proceed to arbitration, and then, in 2020, a new California law reportedly granted victims of child abuse additional time to file suits. Because of this change, in August 2023, a California court reportedly allowed Robson and Safechuck's lawsuits to proceed to trial, overturning the prior dismissals. Today, Michael Jackson's reputation remains one of the most debated topics in popular culture. While his records continue to inspire millions, yet the cloud of these allegations undeniably hovers over his name. This brings us back to the secrets fans always suspected about Neverland Ranch, particularly its mysterious upstairs. For years, fans speculated about hidden passages and secret rooms up there. Others reportedly debunked these claims, saying the bedroom wasn't as large as speculated and lacked secret elements. The previous legal controversies have significantly impacted public perception, with the 1993 allegations and the 2005 trial casting long shadows. Though acquitted in 2005, public opinion remained divided. The Leaving Neverland documentary in 2019 reignited debate and scrutiny. Tabloid gossip has frequently blurred the lines between truth and legend in Jackson's life, with sensationalized reports often overshadowing verifiable facts, creating a muddled public persona. The mix of fan theories, court drama, and gossip has created a complex narrative, leaving people to navigate an information maze filled with speculation. Yet, in a lengthy 2017 interview, Paris Jackson reportedly finally shared a glimpse into Neverland's enigmatic upstairs. She recalled sitting downstairs doing homework, hearing dust fall from the ceiling and thumping sounds overhead. It was her father, practicing upstairs. Evidence, she reportedly said, that Michael never truly slept. Paris's tone was reportedly tender but heavy with affection, recalling how she'd tell him, "Let's take a nap," while the constant noise made her worry about his exhaustion. When the interview was published, entertainment sites reportedly highlighted this quote as her finally breaking silence on his private space. Public reaction was divided. Devoted fans appreciated her candor, while critics reportedly saw it as proof of the family's insular world. What exactly was on that top floor? Cord. Testimony and investigative reporting reportedly provide clues. A housekeeper in 2005 reportedly testified there was an alarm near the master bedroom suite, indicating extra security layers. Vanity Fair previously reported the master bedroom had a secret stairway connection to the Shirley Temple room, a guest nook where visiting children sometimes slept. Taken together, reports suggest the upstairs was arranged for ultimate privacy, strictly on Michael's terms. Paris herself didn't reveal dark secrets, just a poignant memory of ceiling, dust, and a hard-working father above. But her short, vivid recollection reportedly reignited global speculation about Neverland's design and intentions, showing how one small detail can still spark massive curiosity. Beyond the controversies and mysteries, it's vital to remember another side of Michael Jackson, his philanthropy. Starting as a teen, he approached charity work almost like a second job. Reports claimed the Chronicle of Philanthropy said his early efforts paved the way for today's celebrity charity drives, and the LA Times reportedly credited him with setting a standard for generosity in show business. Throughout his career, he's reportedly said to have given over $500 million to charity, a massive sum even without accounting for inflation. But he wasn't just writing checks. In 1992, he founded the Heal the World Foundation, directing millions from his dangerous tour earnings into it. The foundation reportedly delivered food and medicine to conflict zones, sponsored immunizations, and worked with dozens of children's organizations. He also created unique fundraising events. He staged all-star benefit concerts and often gave away hundreds of free tickets so disadvantaged children could attend his shows. During tours, he'd reportedly make unannounced hospital visits, spending time with sick children, posing for photos, and leaving toys. These quiet, off-record trips became a hallmark of his tours. Outside of performing, Jackson reportedly donated memorabilia, costumes, awards, autographed lyrics, to charity auctions that raised record amounts. This dedication earned him a Guinness World Record for most charities supported by a pop star and several humanitarian awards. Even the White House reportedly recognized him. In 1984, President Reagan reportedly hosted Jackson, commending him for supporting anti-drug and drunk driving initiatives, allowing his hit "Beat It" to be used in public service announcements. Later, presidents also reportedly acknowledged his efforts. For Jackson, philanthropy was woven into his life. Tours became fundraisers, and award shows often included donations instead of speeches. He was not only the king of pop, but also a tireless philanthropist who believed celebrity should be used to heal and help others. Through enormous donations, hospital visits, or lending his biggest song to a safety message, he reportedly spent decades turning his global influence into tangible change, setting a powerful example for future superstars. Michael Jackson's life was a whirlwind of incredible highs and devastating lows. This journey shows the immense pressure he endured behind the scenes, the controversies that followed him despite legal outcomes, and the enduring power of his music even after his passing. The mystery of Neverland, the allegations, the financial struggles, and his generous heart all combine to paint a complex picture of a global icon whose story, like his music, continues to resonate and provoke thought. The truth about the man and his kingdom remains layered, leaving us to ponder the many facets of the legend.